Space right now is at a turning point. And that whole concept where you saw Elon Musk's visionary look at how we could vertically integrate with his investment in SpaceX, an entire particular sector, and create a LEO network that can occupy and therefore deliver to the world has been fascinating. Hi, my name's Paul McCarter. I'm the Chief Executive of ALL.SPACE. ALL.SPACE is a company that develops a ubiquitous technology for terminal connections to any orbit of satellite in space, but does so it can connect to more than one satellite simultaneously with a full connection. Dual-use technology is the ability to use either military technology that's evolved from the military in a commercial market, or a commercial technology that gets used in a defense market. So clearly from the name and definition of that, it's very interesting to see how technologies can change either the cost of being able to use something or the infrastructure that's required and the operating mode that it will get used in. It's fascinating to see since the beginning of about 2000, when the internet really took a hold of making global markets accessible for different investments. Previous to 2000, you saw a lot of defense technology where it was more advanced in some cases than the global markets in the commercial world, being transferred and then being used in different places. But of late, because of the huge opportunity in the business to consumer marketplace, you're seeing investment creating moves in technology where commercial capability is seen and then adapted and used for military use. One of the challenges with that, however, is a lot of the capability you find in the commercial market isn't built to some of the stringent requirements and specifications you need if you're going to use something in a military market. And if you look at things that need to have the ability to kind of vibration, extreme heat and cold temperatures, or water ingress, things that get used in the defense market need to be a lot more ruggedized. When you have warfighters using them on any location on the planet, they have to be able to handle that environment and be used. So there are advantages to using commercial capabilities in that it might be cheaper and it might be more globally available. But when you're using defense products, they have to be able to deal with what the warfighter is going to throw at them and still keep working. Well, that's an interesting one for ALL.SPACE, because the reason we exist is to serve that particular need of serving the huge proliferate and investment in space from a space asset perspective, from a ubiquitous terminal using a particular piece of technology. Now, the patents that we have that sit across the transformational optics layer of our phased array capability enable us to do something that nobody else can currently do in the marketplace, which is connect to two satellites in any orbit simultaneously for full bandwidth connection. And what that means for us is it's actually applicable to all markets. It could be used in aerospace, it could be used in transportation, it could be used in the business to consumer market. But the pressing need and the urgent requirement that we've got from a defense market perspective means that we're aiming for that first, building that as our revenue beachhead, and then we'll reinvest into diversifying into the other product areas. So yes, it's a dual use capability, and we're choosing how we can therefore grow the company in the fastest way to ensure we have the money to invest into the different market sectors. Yes, it's vitally important for us to be adaptable. If you look, for instance, and we're talking about the US Department of Defense are 50% roughly of the global C5I style market. Therefore, the US DoD is often a market leader when you look at electronics communications products, because they have more money to invest in any other single country. So when you look at their strategy and their roadmap, which looks at how their satellite communications equipment needs to be used, they recognize a number of things. But the three key things they point out is resilience, i.e. you have to be able to connect to any orbit, GEO, MEO or LEO. Diversity, the ability to connect to any one of those orbits, more than one full simultaneous link at a time, so that if one link is taken away, be it in space or on the ground, you're still connected to another communication link. Or modularity, which is the third one, which enables them to, in the field with a small communications platform, either on a land, sea or air terminal capability, be able to swap in and out things like modems, where you don't need to change the entire platform but just the modem, so you can connect to any operator's network, any operator's asset, and use their modulation scheme so you can create seamless communication capability. So it's vitally important for us. we've created a communication platform that isn't just an antenna. It's got 4 modular bays that enables you to pull out one modem, plug another modem in, and work simultaneously with any orbit or any network operator. But also it's got the ability to use artificial intelligence based on an edge compute module, which we can plug in and create any software stack and any software that the customer might want to use to interact not only with the environment it's in, but also sensing and looking at different uses of the data from that communications platform as it's connected to all different types of networks, not only satellites, LTE, 5G, Wi-Fi, or any other communication protocol that you wish to put upon it. And we can interface and deal with all of those communication networks from the total system platform. So dual use technology, clearly as we advance and we need to not only move from the defense space, but also going into aerospace and they're going into any other market, what we need to do is to invest and change the technology. Whereas defense is absolutely vital that you have the ability to meet their stringent regulations for warfighters. In the commercial market, they're much more price sensitive. So depending if you're going to do the business to business market or the business to consumer, what we need to do is to change the focus of how the technology is implemented from stringent regulation to more price sensitive, and therefore you can create capability that will be able to put it in the hands of either the consumer or a business that wants to use it in their value chain and make sure it's efficient from a capital perspective for them to be able to use that. And it might well be, as you look at lease models, a through life cost model. But that dual use capability therefore has a big impact on how you invest your capital and how you put it in the hands of a user that want and can afford to buy it. Actually, I mean, as a young child from the age of 12, I built a communications antenna and radio in the shed in my back garden. And I was so fascinated by radio communications that I made it my choice of career. And I joined the army when I was 16, and they paid me through college to do electronic engineering and then through university to do software engineering. And then I became a chartered engineer. So communications has been my life and career ever since I was 12 years old. And be it satellite communications, land-based terrestrial networks, fiber optics, I have been operating in that space from a research and development capability, but also taking new and novel technologies to the world for the last 30 years. So it wasn't a case of did I choose it. I think it was more a case of the fact that I was so fascinated by it, it became the thing I always wanted to do. Space right now is at a turning point. And that whole concept where you saw Elon Musk's visionary look at how we could vertically integrate with his investment in SpaceX an entire particular sector and create a LEO network that can occupy and therefore deliver to the world has been fascinating. And it's disrupted the market, the space technology market. And now you have Amazon Kuiper coming in 2025 to 26. And then Telesat Lightspeed coming shortly after. And that concept of having all of those LEO networks means that the entire value chain from GEO, MEO and LEO is going to change. But it also brings very closely into focus what ALL.SPACE is trying to do, in that what people really want, be it in a business to consumer market or a government market, is a ubiquitous terminal that can talk to all of the assets in space without having to change anything or just use software data architectures and update that. And then you start to move into where we are in the world of mobile communications, where it becomes more about the data and what you can do with that data and the intelligence that sits upon it. And that's a fascinating area that's going to expand and change massively over the next 10 years.